All right, hey everybody, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. So I've decided that I'm going to be taking Vynnset to Nationals. So I'm going to be competing at Canadian Nationals next weekend at the time of this recording. So by the time this video posts, maybe I'm there, so cheer me on, or maybe I have already returned. So I'll update you guys on how it goes. I really love the deck. Is it the meta choice? Probably not, but I don't want to like force Lexi, essentially, right? I don't want to force a deck that I don't really enjoy playing that much. So I'm going to take a deck that I really enjoy, that I'm comfortable on. But that said, I need some more reps into the current meta. So we're going to be jumping on Talishar. I'm going to show you my thoughts on the deck right now. Decided to go in more of a mid-range direction just because I can't confidently race a lot of the top dogs right now. So I got to lean into the value, the power that Vynnset has to just push value, right? So I do need to be doing some more blocking. So I've tweaked the deck a little bit for that game plan. I'll probably do some more tweaking between now and when I leave. But I figured I would update you guys on where I'm at with the deck. We'll jump on Talishar, play some games, and wish me luck. All right, so here's the list I'm currently on. Back on Flail, for a short period of time, I was testing Nebula Blade. But Flail just facilitates our game plan a little bit better, and the lost life can be impactful off, if you can follow a Deathly Whale up with a Flail. So Crown of Providence, of course, great headpiece. I'm trying more and more to lean into Tunic, especially now that I'm on the mid-range game plan, or that's what I'm trying right now. Tunic can represent a whole card. If I have my Tunic resource available, it allows me to give up an additional card. So if I have Tunic resource, for example, I don't need to keep a card for pitch to get out an Envelop in Darkness, for example, or even a Reduced to Rune Chant on my opponent's turn, Rune Blood Incantation for setup. So I'm trying Tunic. I've actually pulled Husk from the list. I know, it's amazing. Still in Blitz, but in CC, Carapace does a good job sort of imitating Husk. So I'm trying Tunic as much as possible. If the game is going to be too fast, it's too aggro, I run Carapace. Grimoire, good offhand. Tessin is an okay choice as well. Creepers, trying to get off some shenanigans either on my turn or on my opponent's turn after blocking, right? So you can Creepers in a Read the Runes or something if it's going to allow you to push out a Rune Gate card on your turn, things like that. Quillhand, to get you out of a bind. I try and hold on to this as long as possible, but it's a break in case of emergency type piece. All 9 Deathly Whale, no way around it. So my main board, we're at 51 cards, so I side in 9 depending on the matchup. So I try and go more in an aggro leaning direction or a defensive leaning direction, which is what I'm going to be pushing if I'm not confident that I can push or race. Okay, so I have Blue Envelop in Darkness in now. I don't think I had that before. Red Mauve, I'm gonna run the pummels are just so good and they feel really impactful. So they're in the main board right now. There is an argument to be made that they come out in favor of maybe yellow envelops, which I have in the sideboard now. But anyways, this is just what I'm trying out right now. No right or wrong answer. Deck is not quite solved yet. Read the Runes, running 2 main board here, great for setup, great off of Creepers as well. Reduced to Rune Chant's just going to be in the main board. It's so good. There's so much value here, and this is really what we're trying to do with this build. Is try and get as much value as possible. Rune Blood Incantation just allows us to turn our brain off for 3 turns. It allows us to really grease the wheels and set up our next 3 turns. Shadow Puppetry, I've really come around on this card. I was not sure about it. I thought Mauve Skies was a little more impactful. I do still obviously run red Mauve Skies here. I have yellows in the sideboard. But Shadow Puppetry, the fact that it's Shadow can be impactful, triggering Vynnset's second ability. +1, and its on hit is actually relevant as well. It could, and I have hit off of it, where it's allowed me to go too wide where I wasn't able to set up originally. Phantom Wraith, I'm now on the blues, so I've taken the red Deathly Delights out in favor of blue Phantom Wraith. I felt like I needed a few more blues, especially if I'm on the pummel plan. I don't run like 8 pummels like some other builds do, or like 5 pummels. I'm only on 3 reds, but still nice to keep 2 floating if you're threatening pummel. Even just the threat of pummel is good sometimes. So this allows me to run a couple extra blues. It's also a breakpoint. It's only 1 less than Deathly Delight. And the life gain was kind of incidental, so it didn't really matter that much. All the widespreads, obviously those are great. 2 for 6 here on Ruin. Threatens top of deck. Widespread Destruction threatens Arsenal, which is great. Into Lexi and into all matchups. So it's actually in the main board now. I used to have it in the sideboard. And Widespread Annihilation just threatens the hand. It's so good. This is probably the best Rune Gate card in the deck, potentially. Dread Triptych can be good if you have an awkward hand or an awkward turn you need to set up. And Oath of the Arknight also helps. It facilitates our game plan, makes us a Rune Chant token if we're in a bind for 2 and +1. So it's just like Blue Envelop. Same stats, but it costs 1 more, but it also blocks for 1 more. So 3 block blue that plays to our game plan is pretty hard to ignore. So now my sideboard, I have some more defensive pieces now. So I have my Sink Belows and my Fate Foreseens, which I had originally in the deck, came out for a long time, and now it's back in. So this is just going to allow me to get more value, hopefully, on my opponent's turn if I am trying the mid-range build. So in Lexi, I'll go Fate Foreseen, Sink Below, Chains. The reason I took the yellow envelops out is because in the Lexi matchup, which is very, very important for me to get better on, all of the 2-block non-attacks felt pretty awkward. And so I pulled out the yellow envelops. I hope it doesn't really hurt the deck in terms of what it wants to be doing. I'm still running 5 envelops and 3 oaths, so I'm hoping that's enough whenever I do need that extra rune chant to help me out. So these would be sided into a more aggro if I'm trying to go a little more aggro. So Fate Foreseen, Sink Below, Chains in against Lexi. If I'm trying to go more aggro, I have been playing around with Art of War. I have 2 in the sideboard. This is kind of an experiment. I'm just getting some reps on it to see how it feels. This is the only way I'm going to be able to evaluate it. But I think Vynnset's one of the few heroes that doesn't mind playing Art of War on your opponent's turn. Like, most decks don't feel great when they have to play Art of War on your opponent's turn. Vynnset doesn't really care. It can buff our block, which we're happy to do. It can also set up a Rune Gate card in your Banish, which she loves to do as well. So if you have to take a turn off, or if you're going to give them your hand anyways, if you have a Tunic resource up, it feels even better. So Art of War feels good on opponent's turn. It can feel good on your turn. It does require like a 4 or 5 card hand. So if you're able to set up, you probably choose Go again. So it can facilitate you going too wide, especially on Deathly Wail if you're able to generate rune chants when you close the chain afterwards. And then Banish and draw 2, so it allows you to set up a second Rune Gate card potentially. Art of War's back in, Revel's back in as well. So if I'm trying to go a little more aggro, push a little more aggro, the Revels go in, the Art of Wars go in, the Mauve Skies go in, that's 6. And maybe the Envelops, that's 9. And then I have my 3rd Pummel in here as well. Oblivion is now in the sideboard as well. I've run into too many situations where it's felt really awkward in my hand. And the few times that it's been relevant, I just don't know if it's worth it. So it's in the sideboard. There's an argument to be made that it comes out entirely. I just wasn't ready to commit yet. So it's still in the sideboard, but it might come out. If I decide to put a 3rd Read the Runes back in, so like in the sideboard or something, then it's impactful. So you probably run Oblivion if you're running all 3 Read the Runes. Thinking on it, but yeah, this is just where I'm at right now. So I'm just trying to get some reps in, which is what we're going to do in just a second. We're going to jump on Talishar, get some games in. I'm going to open some packs while we're waiting for opponents and stuff like that. So anyways, I hope you learned something from this. Let me know your thoughts on this deck. So obviously I've probably already competed at Nationals, so I'll let you guys know how it goes. Fingers crossed. I get some good pairings maybe, but I'm gonna have fun either way. This is my first big high level competition. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. Looking forward to drafting first dead product as well. So that's going to be fun. So anyways, leave a like, comment. Let me know what you think about the deck, what you would tweak, what you suggest. Subscribe if you haven't already. Tons of giveaways on the channel. Giving away these shadow box altars, some Vynnset of the new heroes there. So young Vynnset, old Vynnset, as well as prisms. So a couple more box opening videos coming out with associated giveaways, so make sure you're subscribed. But anyways, without further ado, let's jump on Talishar and see what we can do.